Jaka gali tiro manontlotlo MXO pele re bua on the couch a re bue nnete fa ke bua ka rock monagano wa ntlha ke gore ke mmino wa Afro-Seele ebile ga ona sepe le mogedi wa rona o re motlwaetseng mo Afro Cafe nnete ke gore diopedi di le dintsi tse di atlegileng di iteka ka methale e farologaneng ya mmino o ka se ke itse gore go tlhakantswe methale o feng le o feng re sweditse go sekaseka kgang ya mmino wa rock le manno wa ona mo kgwebong ya mmino wa Aforika Borwa.
My perception of rock music in South Africa, that's it's a hard one, you know. I mean, I don't listen to rock, you know what I mean? I won't lie, but, you know, I don't think it's not a white thing. You know?
Rock is perceived as a white thing or a white trend or what, like white kids listen to rock and then like black guys listen to kwaito, you know?
I find this whole racial divide in music probably the single most ridiculous argument I've ever heard.
To really tell you the truth, I was really exposed to rock and roll music on my late stages when, for sure, maybe going to multiracial schools and mixing with different cultures. But before, I used to really think with the ice it's a weird kind of flavor.
Rock and roll music, as it grew up in the 1950s, between 1952 and 1956, is a combination of three different things: rhythm and blues, country and western, and gospel music. Now, rhythm and blues traditionally is black music in America. Country and western, traditionally white music. And gospel music sort of a bit between the two. So you had gospel quartets in the white side, and you had gospel quartets like the Soul Stirrers and Sam Cooke on the black side of music. Rock and roll music sort of busted that divide wide open because artists, young artists who were listening to all those different influences, put them all together and created the stew called rock and roll. And there were black rock and roll artists like Chuck Berry and Fats Domino, and there were white rock and roll artists like Elvis and Carl Perkins. So where do you draw the line and how does one explain that sort of combination of styles?
I know, for instance, most of the generation of musicians I worked with played rock music in the styles of guitar playing, the styles of keyboard playing, the styles of drumming. I, as a drummer, for instance, was influenced more by rock drummers than really jazz drummers. I mean, drummers like Ginger Baker, a drummer like Billy Cobham, one would consider more a rock drummer.
There's a lot of, I don't know, whether you call it stigma or whatever, that's attached to rock. People tend to look down upon rock musicians. They tend to associate rock musicians with drugs, with satanism, with all negative things. And rock is not about that.
Rock is angry, heavy, noisy music a lot of the time, but that's you know, it really is a limited perception of what rock music is about.
There are many kinds of rock music. Yes, there's lots of rock music that's extremely loud. Feedback in the 1960s was a big thing, so you've got everybody from Jeff Beck to The Who to Jimi Hendrix doing it. But there's lots of very different rock music out there that, you know, a lot of people appreciate.
I don't think rock music at the moment it's getting the exposure that it really deserves.
The divisions and the segregation that certain programs are for white people and certain programs are for black people create that kind of mind space.
During the apartheid period, the only broadcaster was the South African Broadcasting Corporation. They had very specific ideas about identity and how one would play certain music for certain audiences.
The South African music industry, as far as an industry for rock goes, is quite limited. So the idea is to try and take South African talent and take it to an international market.
I know also there are young musicians in the townships now who are listening more to rock and they're playing rock and roll, and those youngsters are going to be unleashed to the market in South Africa. And trust me, the audience is going to be shocked at these young black musicians playing rock.